It's time to fear the Buffalo Bills defense, and it's time to fear Leonard Floyd. The Buffalo Bills have signed pass rusher, edge rusher, extraordinaire Leonard Floyd of the Los Angeles Rams, drafted by the Chicago Bears. 3 consecutive seasons of 9+ sacks. That is what Leonard Floyd brings to the Buffalo Bills, reuniting with former Ram Super Bowl teammate Von Miller with the Mafia. Leonard Floyd signs a 1-year deal with the Bills and the Mafia to hopefully win another Super Bowl. Obviously, the Los Angeles Rams are in a little bit of a rebuild. They've let go of Jalen Ramsey, trading him to Miami, and now the Bills, another AFC East team, have picked up one of their scraps and one of their former big pieces of their defense, Leonard Floyd. To give you a little bit of background on that Rams defense, pretty much the key pieces to that defense, along with Aaron Donald in the middle, they had Von Miller and Leonard Floyd on the outside. And these two really had an awesome playoff run. And I feel without picking up Von Miller to go along with Leonard Floyd in that playoff run, they never win that Super Bowl. What they were able to do to get after Tom Brady and make his life miserable, how they were able to play in the NFC Championship, disrupting the passing game of Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers, and then in the Super Bowl versus Joe Burrow. And Leonard Floyd was really the guy that, as that secondary pass rusher, not the alpha, but the guy that was the Robin to the Batman, so to speak, of Aaron Donald and then Von Miller. You had Leonard Floyd just feasting on one-on-ones, feasting on easy matchups with tackles. And Leonard Floyd, I've always really liked his game, even back in Chicago when he was struggling a little bit, because he's always been an extraordinary athlete. That's kind of what stood out for me for Leonard Floyd. He has a rare blend of quickness, size, and also length. If you ever look at Leonard Floyd, his arms are some of the longest in football, which, along with Von Miller, Aaron Donald being with the Rams there, he really learned how to utilize his length and become a well-rounded pass rusher, using power, speed to power, and obviously technique with his hands to get around the edge, bend the corner, and get to the quarterback. And that's what he's going to bring to the Bills. He's another veteran presence who's not too old. He's 31 years old. He's coming off his 3 prime seasons. Really, when you look at his career, he's had 10 sacks, 9.5 sacks, 9 sacks. And again, benefited from the presence of Aaron Donald. But whenever there's been like another guy to go along with Leonard Floyd, he's pretty much succeeded and played well as a pass rusher. But he brings a more diverse skill set than you typically see from an edge rusher in Buffalo. Not only can he rush the quarterback, but he's also one of these edge players that can actually drop back into coverage, play in some hybrid zone blitzing schemes where he has the length and the athleticism to be fluid in coverage and actually drop back, take on the odd running back coming out of the backfield, cover a tight end every once in a while, do some different things that guys with the Bills typically don't usually do. Like Jerry Hughes when he was with the Buffalo Bills didn't really do that. So this is kind of an interesting fit to me where Leonard Floyd has always been kind of that prototypical, 3-4 type of talent, where that's the system that you've typically seen him play in, where sometimes he's dropping back, sometimes he's rushing, sometimes he's blitzing and some stunts and things, and he uses his athleticism and length to get and attack the inside of the pocket. And so you can use him in a lot of different ways because he's so athletic and so fluid for a big man. So Leonard Floyd has experienced the playoffs, experienced winning, been in a winning culture. He'll bring that to Buffalo, but he'll also bring his pass rushing expertise. And what the Bills really want is a deep rotation of pass rushers that can get to the quarterback. That's exactly what they have now. Von Miller, obviously, you have to be aware of his age. You have to be aware of him coming off of an ACL. So Leonard Floyd, to me, makes the most sense in playing that Von Miller role, at least until he's fully healthy. And then once Von Miller is fully on the field taking starting snaps, he can split snaps with Leonard Floyd, and also Floyd can mix in with Gregory Rousseau and whichever other edge rushers they really want to put out there, whether it's Shaq Lawson or any of the other ones. Then they got a deep interior defensive line. Ed Oliver just signed an extension or a restructure for his contract. He's usually a better player if he takes on less snaps because his expertise, his strength is explosiveness, speed, quickness. And those type of players usually are better with limited snaps. They brought in Poona Ford, who I'm a big fan of coming from Seattle. That's going to help. But they also have Daquan Jones, the veteran, to stop the run. They got Jordan Phillips. So they got a very deep defensive line. And usually the teams that go far in the playoffs and win the Super Bowl are teams with a deep defensive line. And that's been one of the marquee elements of many of the contenders in recent years. Just look at the Philadelphia Eagles. Look at the San Francisco 49ers in recent years. These teams that have deep defensive lines, you can never have enough pass rushers. You can never have enough, especially hybrid players, where Floyd is unique because I think he brings something a little bit different, where he could almost play stand-up linebacker in certain short yardage formations and things of that nature, but also line up on the edge and be involved as a blitzer in a way that I don't think any of the other guys, maybe outside of maybe Gregory Rousseau, could really be involved in. So I just feel he's a really good player that had one of his best seasons last year. The last 3 seasons, he'd had his most tackles of his career in each of those seasons in comparison to his earlier years. You look at his PFF grade where he graded 55th overall, not fantastic, but he did have the 25th most pressures in football, tied with Bradley Chubb, who the Miami Dolphins traded a first-round pick for, and he had the most quarterback hits of his career, I believe, with 22 last year. So this guy is still playing really fantastic football, and as I've stated, 9+ sacks in 3 straight seasons. So this guy has been highly productive, even when Von Miller wasn't there in Los Angeles. Even when Aaron Donald, missed some time last year, he was still productive. And I do feel he's one of those players that kind of grew into his body, understood how to utilize his assets as an athlete, and fully grow into a pass rusher. And I think that's what we're seeing right now in his career. But taking less snaps in Buffalo will certainly help him as he's getting a little bit older. So I absolutely love this move for the Bills. When I was really looking at the Bills and examining their roster and their team, I felt like with Von Miller coming off the injury, they definitely needed to look at some depth, especially a guy that was proven the way Leonard Floyd was. I never thought this was a move that was possible. I never really thought about it, but it's a great move because it provides them with a layer of depth, security for Von Miller, and then potentially just a bonus on top of the pass rush they already had last year, where their pass rush definitely faded down the stretch. So they need more and more depth, and continuing to add to that position is never a bad idea. So Bills Mafia, let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. Leonard Floyd, Super Bowl champion, 1-year deal to the Bills. Let me know your thoughts. Gronk, spike the like button. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.